Throw. On the stopover at Heathrow, the bank drafts would have gone into the British Airways cargo hangar. 3 days later, the airline discovered that the drafts were missing. 400 of them. 8 drafts have so far surfaced, the first in the north of England. This house contains the office of a gold bullion dealer.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Dukes. I wonder if you can help me.
I'm interested in buying some Krugerrands, about £50,000 worth, and I'd like them today.
Today? It's impossible.
Well, the thing is, I've been advised by my accountant that Fridays is the best day to buy gold.
And I really wanted some today.
Well, I've got a suggestion that might help you. I happen to have 4 1-kilogram bars of gold that I could let you have today.
Oh, really? And how much would that be?
Well, the striking price of gold at the moment is £260 per ounce.
To the dealer, this sort of request was nothing unusual, and since his caller seemed to know what he was talking about, there was no cause for suspicion. They struck a deal which included a further order for some Krugerrands to be supplied after the weekend. The following morning, Saturday, March the 21st, at 10:30.
Oh, Mr. Dukes. Nice to meet you.
Well, actually, I'm a friend of Mr. Duke's. He's asked me to come here to pick up the gold bars and to give you these banker's drafts.
Right. If you'd like to take a seat.
One draft is for £38,000, which is for the gold bars. The second is a £10,000 deposit on the Krugerrands, which we'll pick up early next week.
Right. Well, these seem to be in order.
He signed his name as Price and gave an address in Beckenham in Kent.
Good to do business with you, and I'll contact you early next week.
Indeed, a pleasure. Let me show you to the door.
The dealer deposited the drafts at his bank. 2 days later, the bank said they were worthless. It was 2 months before the next draft came to light, in London. This time, the method and the faces were a little different. Highmore Hodson in Kensington specialises in antique clocks. It was around 4:30 on the 14th of May.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Could you tell me about this clock?
Certainly, this is a mahogany pad-top bracket clock.
To the manager, Richard Wallace, there was nothing suspicious about the customer.
How much is this?
It's £3,650.
Well, if you'd like to write down some details for me, I'll get back to you. My name's Wall.
Richard Wallace, I'll just get a card.
Mr. Wallace has since helped to make this photo fit. 9 days later, Saturday the 23rd of May at about 11. Again, it's a different man that comes to close the sale.
Banker's draft. Yes, that's fine. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good morning.
Mr. Wallace thinks he may have left in a black Ford Granada. This is the police photo fit. Another week later, the older man was looking at watches and antique dueling pistols at 2 shops in the West End.
Hello, sir.
Next day, the younger man came in for the watches.
Obviously, I'll just have to check this with the bank, sir.
Oh, right, fine.
I won't be a minute. I'm just going to tell my driver I'll be longer than expected.
Okay, sir.
He didn't come back, but he moved on to the gun shop.
Fine, okay. Can I have Mr. Sherwood's address?
Mr. Sherwood's a very private man. Well, the last person who gave him his number got the sack.
I'm sorry, I can't release the goods without an address.
He lives in Maida Vale. 319 Randolph Avenue.
Thanks so much.
Simon Castle, the shopkeeper, was defrauded of £3,700.
It's all very plausible, very clever. And one of the best things they did was come in on a Friday afternoon late. Because it's always difficult to get through to a bank and get checks and drafts cleared. And then, of course, the draft itself was wrong. There were three main things wrong with it. There's a box. That should have been filled in. The Bishopsgate postal area, EC1, was wrong. And then it should have been typed, not handwritten. Those were things I should have seen straight away.
Sunday, the 14th of June, a residential area in Luton. Peter Dean is a well-known painter of horses and portraits. That morning, he had a call from a man who wanted to buy some of his work.
Yes, well, let me see. I've got one of Dawn Run with John Joe O'Neill up, one of Night Nurse with John Joe O'Neill up, a large one of Dancing Brave, and a couple of others, Dujinski and Northern Dancer.
How much for all five?
You mean you'd like to buy them without seeing them?
Yes, that's okay. I've seen your work in Dublin.
At 4:30 the following afternoon, a minicab collected a passenger from the Crest Hotel in Luton. It might have been the fraudster. It's a 10-minute ride from here to Peter Dean's studio in West Hill Road.
I've got a taxi waiting outside.
Okay, well, the paintings are already parcelled as requested. Have you got the cash?
No, it's a banker's draft.
I thought you were going to pay cash.
No, banker's draft's as good as cash.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll show you one.
Thank you.
An interesting thing I thought about afterwards is that both these men were very knowledgeable on horses. And from the way they spoke, I could tell they moved in racing circles. But they couldn't have been very knowledgeable on paintings or selling paintings, because these paintings are unique and would be very, very difficult to sell.